Hello everybody, That One Train Guy here, back again with another custom spotlight, and today we have a BOGO deal. We have Henry and Gordon on display today. So how about let's start out with the younger custom and begin with Gordon. Gordon, beside Donald and Douglas, was the last of the main 11 I did because I knew getting his accurate wheel configuration was going to suck. And I was right. I had to extend his cab, and I didn't do that for an extremely long time because I just didn't have the materials to cut through half a cab to add into another cab. Until I finally did, and it looked so much better. But here came the struggle of his cab being too big, and me being stupid and not realizing that for literal years. And I kept wondering, why? Why does this look so bad? Why can't I get this to work? Why does he always just look so long? Until I realized it was his cab. So I cut right into that thing. And for a while, again, I was happy. Until I wasn't. So I went back to the same old song and dance, repainting him, modifying him slightly, repainting him again, modifying him more. I gave him a different tender for a while. And that didn't last for a long time. I got 3D printed files from Dax, and I 3D printed it out, gave him an A1 tender. I gave him A3 smoke deflectors. Honestly, I should do that again, but I just was never satisfied. So I gave him a nice long look. And then it finally clicked. Splashers. So I gave him splashers. I also gave him new steam exhaust pipes, and repainted him again. And after all of that, I gave him a clear coat, redid the tender, and that was that. This is basically how Gordon looks like now. So let's get into the actual model. Like most of my models, I gave him an accurate wheel configuration, along with extending his footplate. His face is from a 1998 Gordon, and I made his exhaust pipes out of Lego. The splashers are made out of take-and-play wheels cut to look like splashers. I extended his firebox using Milliput, and his cab is made out of a Percy and Gordon cab mixed together, along with his tender being a 3D print with some push-along wheels. And that's about it for Gordon, so let's get into Henry. Henry was the one that basically started this all, so you can blame him for every single one of these customs. And I'd also say he was the hardest to get down to shape, because I repainted him, and repainted him, and remodeled him over and over and over again, trying to get it perfect. And I just couldn't. I couldn't figure it out for a very long time. I changed faces, I changed colors at one point, but there was basically nothing. I wasn't happy with how he looked. I was satisfied for a couple months, but I just couldn't figure out why I didn't like him until I realized I wanted him to look more like a Black 5. So I started doing those mods, and I kept doing them, and repainting him over and over and over again, doing the same cycle with a newer version of Henry. I even just chopped down his running board a bit, and that made me realize that this Henry wouldn't do at all. So I rebuilt him from the ground up, completely redesigning him to look more like a Black 5. And I still failed, up until recently, when I did it again. And this time I actually took care to model him like a Black 5, meaning he turned out basically how I wanted. Except his D'Agostini face wouldn't fit, so I have to buy a Nakayoshi one, but that's really the only issue. So he's finished for now, so let's actually jump into the changes. Of course, Henry has his accurate wheel configuration considering he started all of this. He got early engineer wheels from a Gordon, and he sits on a Hector chassis. His boiler is just made out of a balsa dowel, and his firebox is made out of a Jenga brick, heavily modified. His cab is actually a Percy cab, and his face now sports a scar, something I'm going to do to the Nakayoshi one once I get one. And of course, his tender is a mic tender, boosted up a little to match his new size. All in all, I am really happy with how these two have turned out. I think they are some of my best looking models to date, and I can't wait to show you more models like this soon. Gleaming Red Ted ain't got his name for nothing, so this is That One Train Guy, signing out. See you later.